know, like me, you've had brioche on your mind lately, haven't you? I know, what is it? Falls in the air and dreams of Paris float down into our little brains and we think, ah, brioche. Yes, I don't know why, but in the last week, I've just had this like hankering for baking brioche, which I've never done before. So, I go online, I'm looking at brioche recipes, I watch some videos of people making brioche, and, you know, there are all these brioche recipes and procedures that they refer to as like the quick and easy way of doing brioche. And you look at these and you think, that's the quick and easy way? Like, what's the traditional hard, slow way? Because I'm not liking your quick and easy way. Because it's not quick and it's not easy. And I'm impatient, and quite honestly, I want my brioche now. But we're going to have to be patient, because I'm going to try to make kind of like my quicker, easier approximation. But this does involve putting the dough in the fridge overnight. I know. How much does that suck? Like, we're not going to have our brioche until tomorrow. So something you obviously have to plan ahead. And I don't really necessarily want a great big old brioche loaf, so I'm thinking I'll make it into the shape of hamburger buns, and we'll have us some fancy hamburger buns tomorrow night for dinner with our homemade brioche. And so if they don't come out too brioche-y, it's okay, because as hamburger buns go, they're going to be really cool. What we need to do here, people, is think of brioche as kind of a combo of bread and pastry. Bread on the one hand and pastry on the other. Brioche. Alright, so let's give it a go. What I have here is some milk in a coffee mug that I heated up in the microwave to a bit over 180 degrees, and just a coffee cup of milk only took a couple of minutes. And then I've cooled it down to the 110, 115 range. And I believe we do this scalding of the milk to kill any, whatever, bacteria or, you know, whatever in there. And interestingly enough, these are the temperatures we also work with when we're making our homemade yogurt. Interesting. And we're going to dissolve our we're going to dissolve our yeast into the milk, right? And then we're going to add eggs. So how much of our slightly warmer than body temperature milk are we going to use? I'm not really sure. I don't want to overdo it because we can always add a little bit more. This dough is a very moist and sticky dough from what I can tell. So I'm going to put in, I think we'll start with about half a cup, and we'll add more if we need to. Do you know what I'm baking? Brioche.
Brioche.
It's a French bread. It's fancy. Okay. Alright, I am now going to put the yeast into the warm milk. I've seen people make this by mixing the yeast in with the flour, and I don't like that. That's weird. To me, yeast has to dissolve first in the liquid. I know I have my biases about this, and you're not supposed to use fast rising yeast, which I am using fast rising yeast. So do as I say, not as I do, always. We'll put in a little bit of flour, and we'll let this kind of start getting activated. Alright, that's getting kind of foamy and bubbly. Good. So I'm going to add some flour. How much am I going to add? We will start with 1.5 cups, I think. Oops. About that much. And we we will add just a wee little bit of salt. I think like half a teaspoon. I'm used to putting much more salt in bread, but I have to remember to think about this as part bread, part pastry. Okay, and then I did put some sugar in before. I don't really know how much sugar I'm supposed to put in. But this goes to prove you can just throw stuff together and you're going to have this like amazing brioche. Why are you girls screaming? What are you doing? I'm going to put in a wee bit more sugar. A wee. And then I'm going to put in 3 eggs. My eggs are at room temperature. Very rarely do I ever take the time to get something to room temperature when the recipe says get it to room temperature, but since I had to heat up the milk and then give it time to cool down, I took the eggs out of the fridge. I let them get to room temperature. You should see how the French chefs knead the butter in. It is the weirdest, messiest, we're not doing it thing. No. And now we stir it all together. Then, once we get all this together, we're going to add in 6 tablespoons of flour on the floor. 6 tablespoons of butter. See, it's very buttery. That's what makes it pastry-ish. All that rich, lovely butter. I believe you're supposed to use unsalted butter, but I'm using salted butter because that's what I buy. Because again, we're not living in fancy French chef land. Like, I didn't go to culinary school or nothing, obviously. But I gotta tell you, this looks kind of like the dough I've seen on the internet. All right, they didn't do that with it though. But all right, I'm gonna add the butter. See, I feel like I need to put in more flour because it's just such a sticky, goopy mess. I'm probably gonna have to because I can't not because it's so sticky and goopy. All right, now the butter's going in. This is where you'll see the French chefs like knead it in, and there's no way you could knead that without more flour. There's like no way you could even touch it. But they're kneading it in, and the butter just keeps like squishing out all over the surface, and they're kneading, and they're doing this weird like flop and slap, flop and slap. It's not like the traditional like normal kneading method, flop and slap and turn and flop and slap. I'm just going to stir it in and stir it in. Then my plan is to cover it, let it gonna rise for a while, I'm going to let it rise for a while, then I'm going to gently, with the spatula, collapse it a little bit, then it'll be covered with the saran wrap and it's going to go in the fridge until tomorrow, and that's when you'll see me next. But first, the butter. All right, that's 6 tablespoons of butter going into the bowl. Now it's all over my hands, just like the French chefs. And now I am incorporating the butter. See how soft and like weird that is for bread dough? I'm just going to add a tiny bit more flour. I just have to. I cannot help myself. Alright, so now we incorporate this little bit of extra flour that I feel I have to put in just to make myself happy, so that it comes together in more of a ball that I recognize as bread dough. I think no matter what, with all, oh, that looks so good now. With all of those eggs and all that butter in there, this has got to be good. These are going to be some kick-ass hamburger buns, I think. See, it's holding together a bit better now as you know, a kind of a blob of dough. Kind of. Alright, so I'm going to cover it, put it in a warmish spot, and then we'll check it in a couple of hours and see if it's doing anything. Okay? Alright, 2 hours have gone by, and yes, the dough has risen a lot. Now, we'll uncover it. I'm going to push the dough down a little bit by going with the spatula around the sides to deflate it oh so gently. And then I'm actually going to transfer it to this bowl, which has oil rubbed on the inside, to put in the fridge because this glass bowl is just really too big and takes up too much space in my fridge. The afternoon sun is blasting in my kitchen window in a blinding fashion. Sorry about that. Alright, so we're kind of stirring it down. There we go. I think it's supposed to refrigerate for at least 12 hours up to 24 hours. Alright, about 20 hours has gone by. This has been in the fridge. Here it is. It rose up again. It's looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our brioche dough out of our bowl. And I am going to form it into little, oh, it's so sticky, little kind of bun balls, shall we call them? Okay, now I'm going to dust my hands with a little flour. Let's see if this works better. Oh, yes it does! Miracle of miracles. Oh, that's lovely. Alright. So after I get all these little bun balls made, I'm going to let them rest here on the cookie tray. And hopefully they will warm up a bit from having been in the fridge and will poof up a bit. And then we're going to bake them. Alright, there they are, all formed. So now we're going to put them aside. I'll cover them with a tea towel. Okay, about an hour and 15 minutes has gone by, and they have spread a little bit and puffed up a little bit, and some of them have kind of spread to be touching each other, which is good because I wanted them to do that. Because you know how hamburger buns are kind of baked, pressed together, and you pull them apart, and you get that kind of edge. So that's sort of the effect I wanted. So now I'm going to put an egg wash on them. So I beat up an egg with a little bit of water. I don't have a pastry brush. I have never had a pastry brush in my whole life. I feel like I should. Maybe Santa will bring me a pastry brush this year. So I'm just going to kind of use the fork and try to very gently spread a little bit of the egg wash on each bun without deflating them. And this, I believe, should give it a nice golden brown color as they bake. Alright, so there they all are with the egg wash, which is kind of running down the pan now. I'm going to pop them in the oven at 350, and when they appear to be done, I'll tell you how long that took. 13 minutes in the oven. Aren't these amazing? Look at them! Oh my god, yes they are! I set the timer for 20 minutes, and then I smelled them baking from the other room, and I thought, oh my god, they cannot be baking that quickly. 13 minutes? Really? But look, they bake together so they're like perfect hamburger buns. They're amazing looking. Oh my gosh, maybe this was worth the wait overnight. Maybe this will teach me to be patient. I doubt it. Alright, let's give them a try. Alright, Miss Autumn wants to help be a taster of the brioche hamburger buns.
Hi.
Alright, here. Try that.
Delicious, and it's better than anything.
Really? You think that will be good as a hamburger bun tomorrow night if we have burgers? Mm-hmm. Yeah!
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Thank you. Alright, let's break it apart. I don't know if that looks as beautiful to you as it is in real life, but it is very beautiful and steamy and delicious. Well, let's see how delicious it is. Yes, that is very good. Kind of can't believe I made that. Delicious. Lovely texture. A little sweet. Very buttery. Alright. There's a lot of excitement inside me. I'm just really tired and I'm overwhelmed by how good these taste. So I'm just kind of like, I just want to lay down on the floor and eat them all right now. I would definitely make these again. These are so worth the overnight wait of the dough being in the fridge. These are really, really spectacular. This is much better than a store-bought hamburger bun. I can tell you that. And I venture to say cheaper. Except for all the butter in there, you got cheap ingredients. So, yay. I'm trying to think of something French to say. C'est magnifique! Au revoir!